you or actually have been inducted into the Spy Museum.
Yeah. So upon getting out, and when the first book came out, I was contacted by those guys when they were building the new museum. They moved from F Street closer to more where the Smithsonian's are, and said, hey, we got some background on you through one of your former bosses. And I was like, one of my former bosses? They're like, yeah, your deputy at SEAL Team 6 is now the director of the Spy Museum. And he revealed that you'd be the perfect guy to indoctrinate into this place because of some of the stuff you did. And I was like, okay. They're like, do you have any artifacts that we can put in here? And I was like, I think so. I just don't know if I'm allowed to give them to you. So, of course, I had to ask my former boss, like, what he thought. And he said, hell yeah. So that included a tailored blazer that had a lot of capability to it that they've put up. And then along with one of the what I call a Mission Impossible disguise mask. It's actually called like the 5-second mask. You can put it on that quick. And they've got it in there in a like a glass case, or should I say they did.
Yeah.
And it's actually kind of a funny story where that thing sat in there for probably about 4 years, maybe 5 years with no issues. And then some attorneys from the CIA came through and saw it. And they basically were like, we want that back. And so my former boss calls me and says, well, I think we got to give your mask back to him. I'm like, why? Those guys. I mean, anyway, so he ended up giving it back. And then we replaced the mask with some high-end CMOE or clandestine method of entry tools that I used to use. So yeah, it's a cool honor. It was almost a little embarrassing, but it's cool to be in a museum before you're dead, I guess.
Yeah, you're in the Spy Museum.
Yeah.
So your kids out like, here's names. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
I never seen these masks in person. I've heard of them.
Yeah.
Never seen it. Never.
Yeah. Disguise is a very awkward, unique capability, but it's powerful, especially in the world of tradecraft. And it takes a lot of training. There's a pipeline of schools, that are done by contractors these days, SDC, IOTC, and HETC. And there's a lot of acronyms, but basically it's different levels of tradecraft. And then if you're lucky enough to learn how to really use disguise, then, I mean, it is probably one of the best tools. And
particularly with all the technology out there today.
Yeah.
There's cameras everywhere.
There's cameras everywhere. And really the only way to look like a local, especially me as a white guy traveling to countries where there's no white guys, it's really important to, be able to don the mask and even gloves that go all the way up to your armpits that have fingernails and hair follicles. So if I'm a Somali, I mean, you look at me and I'm a Somali. I'm a black dude. Yeah. And that way, if there are nanny cams or anything, when I break into their place, it just looks like a local broke in and not the United States government. So powerful, powerful tool. Very awkward to use. I tell people all the time, for training, we went to this small town in New Hampshire, and we had FBI's like premier surveillance team. We had some folks from the CIA. And just me and another team guy who were qualified in this stuff. And, I basically penetrated their box as Clint, right? And I went into this hotel and did my disguise change, in the bathroom. And there's a lot of rules and parameters, and you got to case a lot of joints to figure out which place works best. But I found the hotel. The FBI was told, hey, yeah, we're going to, I told them, hey, just set up there and you're going to see me come in. And just follow me. But they had no idea what all I was using against them. So go into the bathroom and basically you do your change, and I flushed the toilet 4 times. And on the other side of the wall was the female restrooms. And that was her signal to come out. So I was done. I'm ready. I come out now as a black guy, and she comes out, and then we hold hands, and then we walk out of the hotel. So now it's an interracial couple walking out, right? Clint walks in, the interracial couple comes out. And, of course, we broke the box, kept on walking. Obviously, it's impossible
right,
for them to know or capture that unless I give up some tells, which is actually really easy if you've got a seasoned surveillance team, because the way I walk or mannerisms, or if there's just a kink in the skies, or it looks odd, or if the sun shines on it a certain way, there's so many variables. But yeah, broke the box, got right through their surveillance, and then we would debrief. And we did this so many times, and not once were they ever able to detect what I was doing. So as you
bring it up, I mean, it's interesting. I'm reminiscing as you bring it up, because I went through a corporate cover course, and I went through high risk SEER. And one of the things I was most impressed with those courses is that you're not dealing with an instructor cadre. They're actually bringing in real life. Like when I ended up getting, when I went to the high risk SEER, I got rolled up at the airport going to the train. I thought I was coming in on Friday. We start the course on Monday. I get rolled up at the airport, and then I'm dealing with real customs agents. I'm going in the real FBI interview, then real CIA and real interrogators. So they're practicing their job and their trade craft on us as students. And so you're getting that. And we, America has the highest level of that. So you're actually getting to employ your training at the highest level. Yeah.
Super cool. And making it as realistic as possible is, it's just the best way to train, right? So you get a lot of lessons learned out of it, take those lessons learned, throw them back into training. And before you know it, you've got a pretty well-oiled machine that you can trust and be confident about when you head overseas and have to do it for real. And that's the moneymaker right there. And that's when you're, sweating bullets underneath that mask. Pretending to be a black dude surrounded by black dudes, So it's a little more, it's a real game at that point,
With the consequences.
Oh yeah. The risk is high, but the reward is even better. So
once you're compromised in that state, there's no explaining why you have a mask on.
You're just fortunate at countries like that. You got the cot planes fly in at about 11 o'clock. They dump all the cot. The cot stands on every corner in Somalia are selling cot by 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and the whole country is high by 2. So you have that, working with you. So leveraging culture and leveraging some of those social protocols play a big role in how successful your operation will be. You just got to know that stuff before you go in. And then, hey, so everybody's high by like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Perfect.
That's the window.
I'm going to go do all my work then,